Topic from the chapter in Empire Across Three Continents is gender, literacy and culture. So the cultural diversities, it can be reflected in any form and level, in religion, plurality of languages, style of dress and costumes, the food that ate, form of social organization and patterns of settlement. So in the previous video we have discussed about the culture of the Roman Empire. So now we talk about the gender. So here you can see that instead of family, gender here reveal about the male and female of a family. As the female they are considerably enjoy legal rights. So if we talk about the society of ancient Rome, it was defined by its culture. And the family is the part of the culture. One of the modern features of the Roman society was the widespread prevalence of nuclear family. A family which is comprises of a man, woman and their children. So when we talk about the son, so the other adult son did not live with their families, and it was exceptional for adult brother to share a joint family or household or not. So if we talk about slavery, they were included in the family. And here we will see that typical form of marriage was one where the wife did not transfer to husband authority, in the sense that she did not transfer her property to his husband, but retained full rights in her father's property. So here we will see the legal rights of a woman in property. So the woman remained a primary heir. It means she was legally entitled to the property and became an independent property owner on her father's death. So the Roman women, they enjoyed considerable legal rights in owning and managing property. So she enjoyed complete legal independence. Now come to the divorce was relatively easy. So it can be a notice was to be sent to, or no, a notice was enough to dissolve the marriage either by male or by female. As far the age is concerned, male married off in the late 20 or early 30, it means around 28 to 32, whereas women were married off in the late teenage or early in the 20, it means around 16 to 18 or 22 to 23. So there was an age gap between the male and the female, or the husband and the wife, and this would encourage certain inequalities. So if we talk about the marriages, they were generally arranged marriage. Okay, so there is no doubt that women were often dominated by the husband, maybe because of the age group. Okay, probably because of the age gap between them. So Augustine, the great Catholic bishop who spent most of his life in North Africa, tells us that the mother was regularly beaten by his father, and that most other wives in the small towns where he grew up, the women had been several bruises or injury, and they show their injuries to each other. Okay, so here you can see that the father, he had excessive legal control over their children, sometimes to a shocking degree. For example, a legal power of life and death in exposing unwanted children by leaving them out in the cold to die. So here we saw the social structure of Roman society, where male and female were considered differently. Female enjoy some legal right, but as far as the male, they dominate their family, and sometimes they used unjust manner, where you can see the women were beaten by the men, and they were having some legal rights or control of the power of life and death of unwanted child. Literacy in the Roman Empire. So what about literacy? It is certain that the rate of casual literacy varied from different parts of the empire. It's been the basic knowledge of reading and writing. So Pompeii, which was buried in a volcanic eruptions in 79 Common Era, there is a strong evidence of casual literacy. Casual literacy on the wall of the main streets of Pompeii often carried advertisement, and you can see the drawings were made on a wall or other surfaces. Okay, and by the contrast, in Egypt you can find hundreds of papyrus sheets, okay, that survived. Most formal documents such as contract were usually written by the professionals scribes, and they often tell us that X or Y is unable to read and write. So when we talk about the literacy, was certainly more widespread among whom? Among certain categories such as the soldiers, army officers and estate managers. You can see it is confined to a small group of society. So here come economic expansion. The primarily activities of Rome was trade. If we talk about infrastructure, okay, that with this related with these economic activities were large in number. As far as the harbors, or you can see port or bandargaha, mines, and excavation of the earth for extracting coals or other minerals, then quarries, you can see in open excavations to make large artificial holes, obtaining building stones, slates or limestones, and then the brickyard were used for where the bricks were made, fixed and stored, and the last the factories of olive oil factories. So these infrastructures were related with the production, manufacturing and transportations of the products or goods. So when we talk about the economy, you can see there was a huge or demands of wheat, wine and olive oil. So why there was a huge demand? You can it was consumed in huge quantities, and they came mainly from the region of Spain, Gallic province, North Africa, Egypt, and you can see Italy in lesser extents. It's mean in a small amount from Italy. Okay, were exported. These regions they exported these items. Okay, so the liquid items, the wine and the olive oil. Okay, it was transported in container called amphora. Here it is. So here when we talk about the amphora, we find the evidences of this amphora, the small the fragment and shards. Okay, here you can see these small portions or the small broken part, okay, of this artifact in a very large number that survived in a region called Monte Testaccio. Okay, Monte Testaccio in Rome. So here we find the evidences of this artifact amphora. So it contains remnants, here the remains of over, you can see 50 million vessels, okay, or the parts of remains of this container amphora. So it has been possible for these archaeologists to reconstruct it or reconstruct the precise shapes of these container. It means they pierced them together. The pieces were pierced them together to make the shape of a vessel or a container. So they took the sample of this clay pit which the vessel or the container were made and matched it with the clay of whole Mediterranean, and they were able to find the place where it was this container were built. So you can see a large number of vessels or container were found, indicate that there was a great demand of olive oil and wine which was fulfilled by these provinces. Okay, so here you can see these provinces, they fulfilled the demand. So if we talk about the Spanish olive oil of this period was mainly carried in a container called Dressel 20. So it is named Dressel 20 in the name of the archaeologist who established its forms or shape of this container. So if we talk about the finds of Dressel 20 are widely scattered, okay, across the sites in the Mediterranean. This suggests that olive oil that was circulated very widely. So here comes the questions. What had been the strategy of Spanish to capture market for olive oil? So archaeologists, okay, they were able to show that Spanish producers succeeded in capturing market for olive oil from their competitor. Here was Italy, Okay, there was a competition between this Italy and Spain. So this would only happen if the Spanish producer, they supplied a better quality oil at lower price. So in other words, you can see the big landowners from different regions, they compete with each other for the control of the main market for the good they produce. So Africans, they producer occupied to olive oil producing region of Spain. So here you can see in the 3rd and the 4th century, okay, now North Africa, it dominate the production of olive oil, okay, in place of Spain. But in the year or in the 425 century CE Common Era, this North African dominance was broken by the East. Okay, but in the later 5th and the 6th century, you can see the Aegeans, the southern Asia Minors, the Turkey, Syria and Palestine. Okay, now they became the major exporter of wine during this period, and wine and olive oil. So now you can see, first we saw about Spain, the Spanish olive oil. Then we talk about North Africa, and North Africa was replaced by the east of Mediterranean, the Aegean, the Turkey, the Syria and Palestine for exporting wine and olive oil. So the demand of this North African olive oils reduced. When we talk about the prosperity of any region, it depends on the 3 factors. One is the production, another one is the quality of product, and then comes it transportations, which is responsible for the growth and fall of the trades. So we will see 2 types of region. One region is advanced as far as the region is reputed with exceptional fertility, good for the cultivation. Second was the less advanced state or regions. So here comes the regions that is known for its fertilities are, you can see, Campania, Sicily in Italy, Fayum in Egypt, Galilee and Byzantium in Tunisia, southern Gaul, and you can see Baetica in southern Spain. So these all are among, you can see, the most densely settled and the wealthier part of the empire. So the best kind of wines that came from Campania, Sicily and Byzantium, they export large quantity of wheats to Rome. Now we talk about the historian Josephus wrote, Galilee was densely cultivated, and every inch of the soil has been cultivated by the inhabitants. On the other hand, we will see large portion area of Roman territories were much less advanced state or less developed. For example, Numidia, modern Algeria. Okay, so here you can see that these were the pastoral and semi-nomadic communities. Okay, were often on the move, carrying their oven-shaped huts called mepalia with them. So transhumance was widespread in the countryside of Numidia. Okay, you know that herdsmen, there was a seasonal movements of the herdsmen for their livestock between the higher mountain region to the low lying grounds in search of pastures for sheep and other flocks. And then you can see a Rome's estate expanded in North Africa, and then you can see that the pastures of this community were drastically reduced and their movement were tightly regulated by the Roman Empire. Even in Spain, the north was much less developed, was largely inhabited by Celtic speaking peasantries, okay, and that lived in a hilltop called Castella. So it was ancient world of Rome, but the cultural and economic life was advanced in science and technology. So here you can see diversified application of water power, milling technology, use of hydraulic mining techniques in the Spanish gold and silver mines. So they used hydropower. It worked by diverting the water from a river or pond to a water wheel, usually along a channel or pipe. The water force drive or push the blade of the wheel or the turbine, which then turn or rotate on axis. So that drives whatever machinery is attached to it. So it was used for grinding flour, agricultural produce such as pulps, timbers or metal shaping. So you can see the existence of well-organized commercial and banking network and the widespread use of capital or money. These all are the indication of the Roman economy. So you need a working class for economic activity. So here topic is controlling workers. So slavery, it was an important institution. It was deeply rooted in the Mediterranean and Near East. Near East here is the east of Mediterranean. So you can see during the time of Republic, okay, slavery system was very popular. So the reason behind that was expeditions and the expansion of Roman Empire, and the war captives, they were present and made slave. They worked as a slave. So you can see under Augustus there were still 3 million slaves in a total Italian populations of, you can see, 7.5 millions. And these bulks of labor, they were used in Roman economy. Okay, they performed, and whatever economic activities were performed by these slaves. But this was no longer true for the whole empire. Okay, slaves were an investment for them, and at least one Roman agricultural writer advised the landowner against owning them in context where too many might required for harvest. If you say so, the agriculture writers, okay, they suggest the landowner that not to employ, okay, the slavers for harvesting or where their health could be damaged, for example malaria. So these considerations were not based on any sympathy for the slaves, but on the hard economic calculations. It means that if they will employ the slaves, the cost of the output will exceed. Okay, so you can here see that on the other hand, if the Roman upper class were often brutal towards the slaves, okay, the ordinary people did sometimes shows their compassions. Okay, see what our historian says about a famous incident that was occurred in a region of Nero. So after some time, the ruler of a province, Lucius Pedanius Scandum, was murdered by his slave. After the murder, there was an ancient customs was to kill all the slave that was residing under the same roof. So they must be executed. But to save the lives of the innocent slaves, okay, the crowd they gathered and raised their voice for the protection of these slaves. So the Senate house was besieged, protesting against excessive severity. The senator were in the favor that execution should prevail. So the crowd was ready with the torch and stone to prevent the order that was being carried out. So Nero, he scolded the population and he ordered the line with troops the whole routes where the slaves were taken for executions. So in the 1st century, you can see the peace was established in these places. So now there was less warfare, and the supply of the slave, it tended to be low or decline. So those who need these slaves as a labor, they started looking for alternative for slaves. In place of these labor, one was the slave breeding. So the slave breeding here, the practice of encouraging female slaves and their partner to have more children, who would, of course, they will serve as a slave, or they work as a slave. Then comes the second option, the paid labor or the wage labor. So they were much cheap as compared to the free labor. The reason, they were easily dispensable, it means they were easily replaced, whereas free labor were not easily dispensable. Okay, here you can see in public work of Rome, there was extensive use of the slave labors or the free labor. Okay, unlike this hired labor, they are less expensive. The slave they had to fed and maintain throughout the years, which increased the cost of holding, okay, of this land of labor. So this is probably why the slaves were not found in the later period, at least not in the eastern provinces. On the other hand, the slaves who had been they were set free from their master. Okay, they were extensively used as business managers, where obviously they were not required in large numbers. So few of them were used, others were made free. So these masters often gave their slave or this freedman capital or money to run their business on their behalf, or even they can carry or they can run their own businesses. Here comes Columella, the Roman culturist writers of 1st century. He paid a great deal attention to the management of labor. He talked about the management of labor. So he recommended that the landowner should keep a reserve stocks of implement and tools, twice as many as they needed, because the cost of the labor, okay, or the loss of the time, it will exceed the cost or increase the cost of items or the products. Then comes the supervisions. So there was a general presumption among employers that without supervision no work would ever get done. Okay, so supervision, or you can see, or free labor, supervision of this free labor or the paid labors were more important than anything else. So here comes second, here is the supervisions of labor. First, you can see the reserve stocks of the implement and tool in place of these free labors. They will cost less as compared to them. So Columella, he recommended the squads of 10 or group of 10, claiming that it was easier to tell who were working and who was not working, or they are work shy. So how they will supervise? They will make a gang of 10 members, okay, and then they will come to know who are working or who are not working. So here you can see it a detailed consideration in the management of labor. So Pliny, the author of very famous natural history, he condemned or criticized the use of slave gangs. It is the worst method of organizing production, because you can see slaves who worked in gangs were usually chained together by their feet. So class, today we discuss about the society of the Roman Empire, okay, in which we talk about the culture, the gender and the literacy, and then we talk about the economy as we saw the expansion of economy from the small province to the east of Mediterranean. And then we talk about the control of the working class, as we talk about here the free workers or the slave or the wage laborers.